as they pull their stuff away. What a treat we've got in store now. We do appreciate some of you that have come from all over the world to be with us, Australia, the States, and what a story we've got for you now. Guys, can I get you to, are you going to ship out now? What's the... Oh, we're getting Tachapat set up, that's brilliant. Next up then, goodness gracious me, at the world's first futsal business conference, we have the chairman of AFC Futsal Champions in Thailand, Chonburi Bluewave. He's going to tell us all about the impact of futsal in his company, the mania that was created as a result of the World Cup being staged there. He'll take us through his own club model, and well, I'm sure you're going to give him a big warm welcome. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I respect you totally, Tachapat, but I'm going to try and pronounce your surname, because Tachapat Benjasiriwan, is that just about right? Yes. He's here with us. Please give him a warm welcome. He's come all the way from Thailand. Join us, please. Very nice to meet you. Nice for you. We're just getting your aid set up now.
So I just bear with us.
Were you a player yourself in the day? Were you a futsal player?
Didn't really make it to the top, but so always my passion, because I've seen, I was growing up with futsal since 6 years old, and I've been around in Thai Futsal for almost the up until now, you know, and I've seen all the developments from the start, how we funded the sports, how we developed it into fitting for the World Cup, and then unfortunately after the World Cup everything changes. But
go on, in what way did it change? I don't want to preempt your talk, but absolute mania, I heard.
Yes, right now, I mean, there's one players and many players who've been a lot of followers in Thailand. I mean, you can compare it to Fonkao or Ricardinho, and this players is the third one who have the most followers on social media. So it's like a new era for Thai futsal. So it's been a lot of history, so I will talk to you through the 70 years of futsal in Thailand. And so I want to introduce myself first.
Yes, please do.
Tachapat Benjasiriwan.
Do you need your slides for that, or?
I'm good.
Okay. Are we there, guys? We're brilliant. That's great.
So today I'm here to talk about the Thai futsal development, and okay. So we have a rich history for this sport. I mean, the first time we participated in the qualifier was in actually 1992. A lot of you may not heard about Thai futsal or even Thai football, because if you look at the ranking, if you look at where we are, Thai football, I think we rank about 130 or something. But if you compare to futsal, this is a very good point that I want to mention. It's because of the development structure that we have. So we've been ranked in the top 20 for the past 15 years. And there's a lot of stories behind it. And I wanted to show you the video of the highlights of who we are and what we do first. This is the video.
This is the video?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but then it doesn't display.
Just a second, okay. Let me try it on again.
We will get this sorted out, folks.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got people flying in from all over the world. They've got their own systems. We're trying to make it compatible with what we've got here. So.
So as you can see from the videos, we have a lot of fans, a lot of spectators, a lot of sponsors. But along the way, there have been a rough and a wrong road, you know, or you can say the wrong and winding road. The videos here, I'm a big fan, sorry to mention, but
Oh, come on, he made it.
so can you go to the next? So that's me. I've been in charge of this team for the past 3 years, and I've learned a lot. And for my age, I'm very experienced. I haven't fortunate enough to learn from one gentleman, one key individual, which I will mention again later in the slides. And so the first years, I mentioned earlier 1992, right? But it all started in 1999, where we have the qualifiers in Malaysia. And that was the first event for Thai Futsal. We got invited to play in the Tiger Cup, also in Singapore, so we had this tournament in 1 year. but we ended up ending losing about 10 goals, 12 goals. But that was the first time that we realized that there's something in this sports, you know. As anyone know in this conference hall, we are passionate about futsal. We all know that futsal can do something back to the communities or even back to football. So that's how we participate in the first one. And this one key individual, he has a dreams in the football world. He wants to make something that it was always his dream to be part of the football. And this one key individual, the FA told him to, you go manage the team. And they didn't tell us about the rules, they didn't tell us nothing about the futsal. So okay, that was the first one. And we ended up becoming back that we have to have some players, we have to build the players, and how, where do we find the players, where do we find all the ingredients that we needed to develop the sports. And that's how first time we decided to use football players to play futsal. And they are not playing the futsal as we know today. But it was the first step that the people were coming to watch them, because in Thailand, if you see the demographics and the cities and the cultures, we don't have 11-a-side pitch as much as here. We only have like the pitch under the highway, we have the pitch on the streets. But that was the key moment for us when we see that we have the population, we have the market, we have the potential and people that we wanted to connect with them. And that's the first step. So we tried to host the AFC competition in Thailand in the year 2000, and we got it. And it was the qualifier for the World Cup too. So we beat Japan 8-6 in the fourth playoff, and then we go to Guatemala. And I mean, Thailand is more of the current in most of the media. So the World Cup, Thailand, first time of any sport. So it's like a new, like a booming things all over the country. So that's how we managed to get the team overs, bring in the coaches. We bring in Brazilian coach Silvinho, and it's a very funny story because he's not a coach. He's sent by the Brazilian embassy. So, but we didn't know that. But you know, Brazil must be good in football, must be good in futsal. So we learned it from him. And this is the first time in the year 2000. This is all football players. But then, as a good moment for us that we came back. So we came back with a mindset that we have to develop this sport further. As you can see here, we want to formalize street football, you know, into futsal. So that's the first step. That's what we do. This is the pitch under the highway, and we have a lot of pitch in the slums, on the streets. So that's the first time we actually bring in more people to see the game. This is the one in the countryside. It's a very famous pitch. This is after all the developments. So in almost every region, we try to put futsal into their life, into their mindset. So the development structures I put into 5 structures. The first one, the human resources. As I mentioned earlier, we need the coach, we need the players, we need the referees, of course, we need all the professional, everyone involved in sports. We want to learn from the best. We want to learn from Brazil, we want to learn from Spain, we want to learn from everyone who is success in this sport. And we know that we need to have a lot of competitions. We need to develop a lot of competitions, a lot of games. Even though back then we don't have a league yet, but because we don't have enough money to fund the league. But we need to host something to show the people about the sports, to give them awareness. And we need support from the government because we can't do it on our own. Maybe the first 3 years, these individuals who happened to be my father, his name is Tachapat Benjasiriwan. He looked into his wife eyes, who's also here in the hall, and he asked for, can I have more money to fund the team? And she said, okay, maybe you can help for the first 2 or 3 years, but then we need support from somewhere else. That's why we went to the government, went to the Ministry of Tourism and Education. But that was not enough, so we needed from the sponsors, obviously you need private companies, public company, everyone. Most of the slides will be connected and related to each other, so I will come back again. And you know, the fans, the most important ingredients, we all know that. So this guy is my father, and people said he's a father of futsal, but there's a reason behind it. I don't want to praise him too much, but because of this guy, that's what we have today in futsal, because he spent his own money to develop it. The first thing he did was to host the AFC. So he went to the government, went to the Sports Authority of Thailand to ask for the money to host the events. But the most important thing is that we don't have live television at that time. So he used his own money to buy the airtime, because they don't support us. They think this guy is crazy. What is futsal? What, you already have football? I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. Maybe in America we have indoor soccer. Here we have 5-side pitch. So we have the same questions every time. And you know what he did is, I mentioned the first one. We brought in the coaches. The first time we went on international competitions, we know that we want to learn from the best, as I mentioned earlier. And this was the first time when we have AFC and AFF competition in the same year. So in Thailand, in Southeast Asia, we have 3 major competitions. AFF, this is Southeast Asia, and then also have the SEA Games, also have AFC for the Asian teams. But this was the first time we pay the players to be futsal players, and we're not gonna bring any football players anymore. So we want to develop our own styles through the coach. So the next step is getting into the schools, because we know that the young players need to be developed at futsal from early age. We know that youth development is very important. So we went to the Ministry of Education and we said we want to initiate the plans to, because we don't have much living aside. So futsal is the perfect fit. So after school they play futsal. So we try each by school, and then they implement, they help us. So we have a good support from the government. And at that time, my father decided to use the A team for AFC, for the Asian competition, and the B team for the Southeast Asian competition, for the AFF. That's why we have a lot of young players coming up every year, because we have 2 or 3 teams. And then I will mention about the World Cup after this, but the most important thing is also in year 2006. After we came back from the World Cup in Chinese Taipei, we know that we have to create a system, we have to create a league of our own. But that's why we went to the sponsors, we went to the government. But the most important thing is the league structure is not the best one yet. Even though we are the second league in Asia, but we step by step grow by each segment. The first year it was the central venue, because we don't have enough budget for every teams to travel. So we play in the same venue every year. And later on I will show you the improvement of the league system. So in the year 2011 we have the World Cup bidding, and I think we spent about a month. You know, everyone's trying to make this, because we know that it promotes tourism also, it promotes everyone in the system, the stakeholder, and we bid for it, and we just follow the guidelines of the bid book actually, and we got it. And it was a key changing moment for us, because after that, before that, only the Thai people know futsal inside the country, you know, but after that, you know, many countries know about Thai futsal more, because you know all the teams came in. And the World Cup, the stadiums that were built was very high tech. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have a good facility as well, and because of the weather in Thailand, it's pretty hot. So I think this sport fits into the Thai physiques. And okay. So this is the national teams, key individuals. I want to go into detail because everybody is very important. So we honor who involves in the system. So I want to talk about the first one. His name is Victor Lucero. He's a FIFA manager at that time. So in year 2001, we went to FIFA and we asked for the development budget, but that's just impossible, because everybody wants to have the development budget. But instead, he sent this guy called Vicente de Ruz. He's also in the FIFA. A lot of you may know him. He was the first futsal coach to ever come to Thailand in year 2002 and to implement all the tactics, all the systems for us to play in the World Cup. So unfortunately, we couldn't sustain him, and then we went on to see who's the best in the world at that time. So we found that Brazil was the best one, and we brought in the coach, Calcio Castro, who also the coach of the Brazilian U23 at that time, but he loves Thailand, and he came to Thailand. He put the stylish play, the new systems of the play. So this is the most important change in our society, because this is how we truly learn about futsal. This is how we implement and bring all the new players on. But another turning point is also because he passed away with a heart attack, and that's how we wanted to maybe learn from another best team, so Spain. So we traveled to Spain to see Javier Lozano, and we asked him, who do you think is the best candidate? So we got 3 names. Jose Maria Patos Mendes, who's also a Spanish coach, and he really achieved a lot in the club. Miguel Rodrigo, and I think it was Brazilian coach at the time was another one. But then we decided to go with Pupis, and this is what we are today because he created a system that fits the Thai people with the unique style of play, a lot of set plays, a lot of movement. This is how we truly learn. Also, Mr. Victor Hermans, during the World Cup, he was the coach at that time. With everyone here, we improve our own style, and everyone has a good on their own. We learn from each of them, and Pupis is very good in defense. Claudio is very good in attack. Victor is a both combination of both, and he also have a good ways psychological to talk to the players. So we did pretty well in the World Cup. And after that, we have Miguel Rodrigo, who, because we learned from the Spanish system, at that time, the Thai players never learned about this before. Everyone was, after the training, they wanted to quit because it was too tough for them. But then gradually in house, we learned from everyone, and we are able to achieve a lot in the world. So after that, we know that we have to put some Thai coach, we have to learn from them, and this is my coach from my team, from Chonburi. He learned from 3 of them, and I think it's the reason we became champion last month, because he knows, his knowledge is very wise now. He knows about a lot of systems, that when to do, what to do, But for the success of everything is because of the national teams. In Thailand, I think because of the popularity, which brings in every stakeholders, because it's famous, it's on the news, it's on the media. We went to the World Cup for 5 times, and every year we have a story behind it. So right after every World Cup, it's a change, because people will turn to look at it. So we have to stick with the current and try to move together as a whole system. So because we wanted to create an ecosystem that we can sustain, we don't want to just play in the national competition and after that everything finished, you know. And also because of the World Cup. So sorry about that. I want to mention about the competition later. The competition in Thailand, the first one was because we don't have a tournament, we don't have a league, so we have a national, regional competition. So every province we try to have a tournament there, and we bring the best two from every province. So the 77 provinces combines, and we have a national cup. So that's how we scouted the players, and we bring the players in to learn the system. It's very important because the budget is not there yet. But then the league, the development of the league, the first year I say it's a central venue, right, in 2006. 2007, it was also a central venue, but we moved into 5 different cities. So everyone get to see the futsal, get to see the players, you know. And the third year is a big change for us because we wanted every club to learn how to host the match day. So we decided to make, for example, we play in this province, for example, Bangkok. We have 10 teams, right? 1 team's playing in Bangkok, and they learn to be the host. They have to, you know, all do everything, organize the event, organize everything, and they receive the match. For example, the tickets, the club gets it. So this is how we like casually, slowly improve, teach them how to be, because we don't have, you know, the many stadiums as here, so we have to do that. Right after the World Cup, it's where the home and away fixtures came in, because we need to do that as a league system. Before it's more like a semi-pro league system, you know. So now I will talk about the government. Sports Authority of Thailand has been a major part for us because they initiate the league. That the league is there. They want to motivate. I have to say, the government. So Sport and Tourism is the head of the Ministry of Sport, and after that is the Sport Authority of Thailand. So we have the budget coming from the tourism to promote sports in Thailand, every sport. But futsal plays a major part because it's popularity. And they develop a league for us. They also reward the league for the champions. Everybody's, you know, we need the rewards. But the most important thing is the youth, the National Youth League. They implement the National Youth League there. And also the University League is very important because it's a development stage. And because every major tournament, they will reward the player with some money, you know, so the players can make a living out of it. We have the FA Cup, which is also another competition, nationwide, and only played for 1 month. So it's a quick one and it's a quick turnaround. I mentioned earlier the AFF. For the national teams, we have the AFF competition. This is why I think because we ranked in the top 20, because every year we have this competition and we play against the Southeast Asian teams and we always won. That's why we still sticking around the world ranking. And the SEA Games, which happens every 2 years, is also very a major competition in that area. And also the AFF club competition, which just introduced last year. I think the most important things, because every 2 years we have the competition in Thailand. Every 2 years we have this competition, that competition, club, national team. So people get to see the game. And for the club teams, for the AFC, it's next stage. So AFF, then AFC. So AFC, as you all know, we have Asian Indoor Games, AFC Futsal Club Championship every 4 years, actually every 2 years. But and the next one is in Chinese Taipei, and we're trying to get the next one for the World Cup qualifying to be played in Bangkok. So this competition makes the new players, makes the national team better. And we also have this every 2 years now. We call it Thailand 5, which is actually happening next week in Thailand. We bring Argentina, Mozambique, and Thailand, and also Kazakhstan. So we try to make it as an intercontinental cup from every team from every continent. But all of this is because of the Thai FA, because of the sponsors that help us. And so now we're still in the human resources part, and the Thai FA, we help. They get a help by the FIFA, and we try to implement the coaching course every year. And actually this year we have about 15,000 a year, so that's a lot. So we have the new coach coming out. The people wanted to be part of the futsal community, and I think this is very important because we need to develop, everyone in the system. I've also already mentioned the Ministry of Education. One of the changing point for us also is because we came up with a business model that we want to sell fallings to the schools, and we get the good funding, and we get the good money to develop the national team because we sell the products through the system. Also the youth tournament. There's been more than 100 tournaments in the youth, from the U12, U23. Along the way we have many competitions because now sponsors get it because they see that there's a potential. There's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of young players coming up. I think it's not as hard as yet to attract sponsors because they want to enter into that segment, the young one, and they want to grow up. They want to be a part of the families, and that's sponsorship deals. We got a lot of them from the popularity of the sports. So those youth competition created the stars. This guy, Supawut, he won the 2 goals of the FIFA tournament 2 times consecutive. One reason because one of the goal was very good too, but the other reason because of the Thai social media. We all voted for him, so we wanted to win. And he developed to a youth league, and he was the one who came to us, who came to the club, who followed the news, and he came to our team that he wanted to play for us. So I think it's very different here and in a lot of places. And this guy next to him is also the captain. They both came from the same province because at that province they don't play football, they only play futsal. And it's a major start for us now. He also won the Players of the Year award, and so all the success, give the national teams, the nations proud. Everyone was proud of futsal in Thailand, so it's easy for us to work along the way. So we went to the 5 consecutive World Cup because of those structures, because of those development through the years, and a lot of the sponsors guide us there also. In Thailand, they work a bit differently. Before that, we have to get sponsors and we go play in international levels, but we play international level first and then we come back to get sponsors, to get because everyone wants to be in the newspaper, everybody wants to be a part of the success. That's why they give us more sponsors after the World Cup. Now I lead it to the World Cup, and in year 2012, actually 1 year earlier than that, we bid for the World Cup, right? And we got it, and we needed new facilities. So we talked to the government, to the Sports Authority of Thailand, that we want to have, the stadium that we can talk to the whole world that this is the world-class stadium. We don't have that at all. We have only 1 or 2 national stadiums, but it's like 100 years old. So we sent the architects to Germany to study the structure, the facilities of the stadiums in Germany, and we came up with this. We call this Bangkok Arena, and it's a very nice stadium, but it was outside the capital. But I want to mention to you that one of the important things that because of the politics of football and futsal, so that the stadium wasn't built on time. It was later used in 2015, and but people know about it, even though it's a bad reputation. But everyone knows about it in the country that it's not finished. So maybe there's a good thing behind the bad things, The impact also they raise the awareness, right? They brings a lot of people in. At that time, my father was a manager of the team, but he left and he went to the club, and it was a changing point because we get to use our resources and put it into a club. Because the national teams, they only focus on the national team. During that time after the World Cup, we don't have a lot of young players coming out. It was just the A team, and but the good thing is that everybody knows about it. So the brands came along, the new brands came along, the new apparel came along, the new shoes came along, the new everything that we need in the sports came. So it was a good thing for us. Also, a lot of people come flying in the country. So always a good advantage to host the World Cup. So I think everybody here, we wanted to bid for the World Cup, and I hope we can get it because it's always a good thing. So these are the brands that came along. Many of them I didn't mention, but it's a good commercial brand that they use the good popularity, the news and everything to create an image, to get into the mindset of the people, go along with the sports, and a lot of them were very useful and go on to make a big leap in the companies using the futsal. TOT right here, it's the first one that they supported the league, so we call it TOT Futsal League the first year. And here is also another one. So these are all Thai brands, and as I mentioned earlier, we buy the airtime, right? So after the World Cup, the TV came to us. We want to buy you. We want to broadcast your events. So I've already talked about the growth of the market and everything that everyone is coexist each other. Everyone is helping the ecosystem, and the market is getting higher. Also, the football in Thailand is dropping at that time. So more people turn from football into futsal, and because we implement into the fundamental growth of the youth, so futsal and football, we have almost the same people involved in the industry. But after that, it was a big shift again, and people always mention football before futsal. But for me, I love the game, and I see that the game has something that we can give back to the community, And this is part of our success model for the clubs team. PTT Bluewave, we have a lot of achievements along the year, But the most important thing is that we develop the societies. We wanted to show the society that you can make a change in their life with futsal. Because in Thailand there was a lot of drugs, there was a lot of war, in the southern part. But the good thing about our club is that every time after the tournament, we try to reach into almost every province in the country and teach them futsal. This is the brand called Warix. It is now the sponsors for the national team, but they sponsors our team first so that they can enter the football and futsal market, and that they now they make a change and they sponsors the national teams. So they have developed shoes and everything, all the products along the way, and now they're in the national teams. Also, they went on to Japan, went on to Indonesia to sponsor more, getting their brands over abroad, getting their brands to the world. I've talked about this is the team, BTT Bluewave Chonburi. I want to show you some videos another video, what we do to the community after the game. So this is the competition in Thailand. We have about 15,000 fans in the stadium every day for 6 days in a row. And because, it was the first time that we host for a club, but the chance that we let them in for free. We want them to see the game first. We want them to show the futsal first. We didn't get any tickets back, but it's as I mentioned earlier, it's about the trends in Thailand. Everybody comes. Everybody, so in the finals, it was packed, and it was the record for the teams that we have as many as spectators. So this is the video. This is in the southern part of Thailand. So actually in this province, there's a war it's like a war zone. So when we get there, everybody was like scared of but because we want to reach out to them and we wanted to grow and put futsal in their societies. So we went there for 3 days.
quite literally a war zone. You don't mean a futsal rivalry. You mean a war zone, a proper war zone. Thank you for clarifying.
It was different in the religious belief, but you know, for futsal we don't have that. So I think this is the reason that we have a lot of fans and a lot of more potential sponsors, you know, because they like what we do, and they enjoy what we do for the community. So the model for our club is to be the role model for other clubs in Thailand. A lot of people criticize us that we have a lot of, because we're good because we have a lot of international players, but you know, behind the scenes we have a development structure that we did, and I think it's because of we're trying to raise the bar higher for other teams. We're trying to learn more from the best teams, and that's, I can talk about achievement all day long, but I don't think that's an important point. The important point is how we are today. So we got the Asian champion in 2013, and even though we got the Asian champion, we came back to Thailand. Some people came to see us at the airport, and after that, everybody, you know, went away and more like forget about us, because we don't have any things that we did back to the people, to everyone, you know. So after that, we came back to see, like, even though we are successful, but we don't have enough money, we don't have enough ticket sellings, we don't have enough merchandise sellings. How are we gonna survive? So we came up with many sponsors approach that we went directly to the sponsors, and we say we show them what we do to the community, and this is how we get more sponsors. And we have one video that we did, and right after that, the sponsors came to us, and but it's not that easy every time, you know, because you cannot always sustain it, and you have to continue building up new things for the community, building up something new to the people in the network. So, you know, we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have the clinic everywhere we go. We teach the young players, and we teach, give it back to the people. Not sure if I have enough time, but this is another video. It's actually in Thai, but this is the one I talk about that after this video people are more interested in. But Um, yeah, it's actually in Thai, so it's very hard to understand. But there's a sub down here. They're saying that they play underneath the highway because they love futsal. So he was here, for 10 years, 12 years. This guy shows wife, you shows football wife, I don't know. So he's saying that he wanted to play with the top players for once in his life. If he get a chance to play with the top players, he will try his best. So we brought in the whole club players underneath the highway for one night to show them. This is where it all began, underneath the highway. It's a very hard angle, but you will see what we try to do after this game. So I told the players, if you score, you get 1 goal. If you not make the other players, you get 2 goals. So everyone was trying to do some tricks. So you see the small goals? It's everywhere they play in Thailand with the small goals. This is the part of the video. So he said he's looking back. He used to be like this, he used to be a player on the streets. But futsal changed his life. Futsal made the start of him living wherever he would play, whenever he would play. Because it's the love for the game. It's the head coach. He was a former player also. So he's saying not giving up to anyone, anything, he's trying the best to become the best player they can. We have the families to help them. So this video actually came out when we lost in the third and fourth playoff in Thailand. It was a good time to launch the video because it's about giving up, giving more hopes for the players, giving more passion for the players. To say, one day it will be our turn, and then this year we became champion. So it was all of everything that helped us good, helped us better, and because everyone in the system. And after that, PDT came along. So we have a name change of the club to PDT Bluewave Chonburi. It was Chonburi Bluewave. So PDT was an oil company in Thailand. And this is one of my last 2-3 topics now. Now I mentioned earlier, this is the guy that has a lot of followers right after Falcao and Ricardinho. He was the one who actually used a lot of social media to with his skills in the pitch, off the pitch, he used a lot of social media, he used a lot of Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and he became an internet sensation for the young girls, for the new segment, And now we see the potential in the market. We see that there are more customers coming to see him, just to see him. I don't know why too, but he's good looking on and off the pitch, and he's a good the young blood of the team. So if you have, if anyone have read an article on Futsal Planet, it's talking about the sensation of the new era of Thai Futsal. It's this guy here is half Ghana and half Thai. His father was the former football players. So with this new young generation of players, the Thai people used to be very shy. After the game, just went right into the tunnels. They don't talk to the fans. They don't have any negotiations or any everyday life conversation. But these new players, this plays a competition in Thailand this year, U20 Asian Cup. With this competition live on the nation TV, free TV, the rating went up so high that skyrocket, as good as the Thai soap opera. It matched the TV ranks, and people came to see the game fully packed. And I mentioned this slide because it's the next step for us in Thai Futsal. We have the new young breeds, We have these players. I think they will be involved in the Youth Olympics next year in Argentina, and because they got they got a third place. But we have found out that the team we lost in the semi-finals, about 6 players are overage. They came up with 25 or 26 years old. But and that's how we develop things around, through competitions, through everything. And I think this is not very important now because we all know the benefit of futsal now. And there's a saying in the statistic that if you put futsal into football at a young age, the players who play futsal, they touch the ball 6 times or 7 times more than in any minutes if you compare to football. And the good thing about it is because the game is quick, you improve, decision making, you improve the mental processes. If you play futsal, you can improve in any sports. It makes you think faster, it makes you tactically wise, And I know everybody knows about this. But because we futsal, that's why we are here today. And futsal brings everyone together, shape the community better, And this is the point that we would like to share with you, that there are many opportunities for you, many for you to be involved in the world of futsal. Even though which segment or sector you are, you're the coach, the players, you're the sponsors, or you're the anything that we can be a good partners and we can share our knowledge and improve whole systems. That I think it's a time for us to go together and to make a good business model and to improve the society. So I would like to finish my presentation. I may have talked a bit everything, but I concluded that why not futsal? Why not? I mean, it's a good sport. It's a sport that helps everyone in terms of the because we all live in the sports world. It's a new sport that we should invest in and be part of it, and be happy just to be involved in the sports. So futsal is a classroom of football development, and because of futsal, we wanted to shape the world better with futsal and share the knowledge with everyone. Thank you so much.
Do you know where futsal ranks as a sport in Thailand then?
Yes, 16, because we lost to Indonesia in SEA Games, so we came from 15 to 16.
Okay, where was it before all this development started?
Oh, we are nowhere. The big league was during the Jose Maria time. We went into the 9th of the world ranking, But because of many competition in Thailand, AFC, and we always finish it up in the top 2 or 3 in AFC, and that's why we ranked pretty good in the world ranking.
And again, it seemed to me you said, you used the phrase, there's something in this sport. Somebody had a light bulb moment and decided we can do something with this, or a few like-minded people got this sport moving and created all this success since.
Yes, at first I said earlier it was a vision of one man first, but then...
Your father?
Yes,
yeah.
He was the one who... I didn't see him a lot when I was growing up because he was always involved in futsal, trying to talk to the government to, can you help this and you implement this, and he spent his own pocket on, the national team first, and a lot of success came from him because he did everything that one man could do for futsal. Yes.
Well, I think there's a few visionaries in this room, but we've already heard the stories of a couple today, haven't we, with Antonio earlier. Has anybody got any questions? That's why Tachapat isn't here. Any questions? Anybody got anything that's burning away at them? How do you see it developing from here?
So the next step for us, now we have a lot of competitions already. We wanted to be at least in the 8th round of the World Cup for the next one. But in terms of marketing, in terms of the business, we have to engage more people in, even though we have a lot, but some came in to see the players, to see the game, but they haven't engaged in more of the sponsors-wise activations, because we have to put everyone together. These sponsors came in for 1 year, 2 years, and they're gone, but we have to attract them back in. And I see the potential in that, and also we want to host the AFC national teams in Thailand, so that we become the first or become the champion of Asia.
Well, listen, we really appreciate you coming all this way. You got a quick question?
As you're very aware of, because we spoke before, futsal is mainly amateur here in England and across the UK. So the question I have is that for clubs, here, there's a lot of debate, we need to get it on TV with the product we have now. People would disagree with that because of the facilities. It's maybe not best to get it on TV the way it looks now. But to engage more with the community and to get more people playing, what advice would you give to the clubs here in terms of growing their numbers and growing participation?
I think it's because of if anyone here sees the game, you will like it, But in terms of the sponsors, because you have a big, good achievement in football already, so it's very difficult. Everybody, they keep comparing football to futsal, or the other way around, And what advice would I give is that even though in Thailand some of the pitch are not quite ready for TV, but the TV, they will try to pick the best teams to broadcast, because there will be more people watching, of course, but we just have to develop the team up that would be interesting to see, because good performance leads to good achievement and leads to more sponsors. But another advice I would say that you have to give them something else in the stadiums in terms of the sponsors, and maybe we have a profit sharing with the broadcasting, the sponsors, that you find more sponsors for them, they find more sponsors for you. This is one of the model we did for the TV broadcast too, because in Thailand it's more of a bit of the connections with with this company and that company, and sometimes you can say it's about connection and commission also, but we have to grow together. So they have to actually in love with the game first. After that, I think it will be easier. But I mean, we can share. Everybody can share our knowledge here and make futsal better.
what you set that up wonderfully. It's almost like you knew that after this marvellous morning when we've learned loads, we've got a great panel session going on. Are you staying for it, or with that musical reference, are you going to the Beatles Museum, or are you staying with us?
I went there actually, but I'm going to Lennon House after.
You going there?
Not today.
Oh,
yeah, maybe John Lennon House. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Thank you for sharing your musical tastes. We all feel a little bit better for that. We have got a great panel session this afternoon. Goodness gracious me, it's like a who's who of futsal in here. We've obviously got the FA's lead futsal coach, educator Ian Bateman's with us. We know that Keith Tozer is here with us, the USA national futsal head coach. We've got a legend with us as well this afternoon as well. Micho Martic is here, head coach of Finland, and of course of Futsal Dynamo in Croatia. And Damon Shaw is here as well with us as well from Tranmere. I'll just put a little pause there. And we really would appreciate you all getting involved, because the topic is youth development this afternoon. What I'm going to ask you to do when we return is to occupy these first few rows, so it will help with the microphoning situation. But it is your opportunity to have one enormous, great big chat about the issues that might be affecting all of you. So very much looking forward to that. We're going to break for lunch. I'm just going to remind people that are watching us online, please find those links again. We're talking 1 o'clock UK time, so we're going to be back in 1 hour's time. Look for those links again on the Tranmere Rovers website, if you would please, on Futsal Focus, and indeed on Michoju as well. That's it for this morning. Thank you very much. And you want to show your appreciation again? Come on, ladies.